You're gay. Hello and welcome back, Ravers. It is season 4, episode 9 of Gay Rave, and we are back. It is the second week of the rest of my life. Oh my God, last week went so well. And I have here on my whiteboard next to me days of my life, and I'm like notching one day like I'm in prison. How fun is that? Okay. So I did go to the gym, really, etching away every time I go. I'm sort of carving out pieces of that $1,400. So you know what? Every time I go, I will make this worth it. I will do it. Okay. I went to a powerlifting gym to try it out. I went to the movies. I'm just taking care of ourselves. I'm taking care of your girl. And so in that way, is the second week of my life and we are doing our best. Okay. Okay. Happy Spotify Wrapped and Wrapped season to us all. Let's start there, shall we? First of all, I love Spotify Wrapped season, but it comes out like the first week of December, and I'm like, I've still got damage left to be done. You have no idea what happened to me in 2023. Made You Look by Meghan Trainor was the popular song at the time, and the last couple weeks of December, I listened enough times to make it my number one song that year. I will not be told. Music will be listened to in a way it's never been listened to when I get back on my Adderall because there's a shortage again, apparently. But I do the like hyperfixation thing, so I'm just like listening to one song on repeat all the time. Hence the songs on the list. Okay, so there's still time. I'm just saying. So I would like another one at the end of December to see if anything's changed. Okay, because of my obsessive listening habits. Moving on. So my Spotify Wrapped on Apple Music is I said, I am going to create a list of songs that is so depraved and so sad. Like, I cannot, I'm going to find a list of songs so lesbian that it can't be topped. Get it? Get it? Okay. So, rank your top depressed lesbians right now. Rank your top depressed lesbians right now. They're all on my list. First of all, Lucy Dacus. She just has a sad face, right? She kind of looks like all she's ever known is sadness, like when will they return from war type sadness type shit, generational sadness. 2, Chelsea Cutler. She's on there. She had a whole month. Because now on Apple Music, because I use Spotify for like my events and shit and this podcast, and I use Apple Music for like everyday listening. Chelsea Cutler, it was like the month of like March, obviously, or April, really sad. She came out with this horrifically depressing album. I was spinning it day and night. On the list of depressed LGBTQs, I'll just finish this list out. Phoebe Bridgers has to be on there. She's queer. Might be just like boy genius in general. They all have a super sad energy. And then there's like maybe Muna has some like good sad songs, or like Katie Gavin. And then everyone else like really doesn't make the cut. Like Chappell Roan, honorable mention, has some super sad songs. Haley Kiyoko, definitely not sad enough. King Princess, definitely not sad enough. Kalani, way too sexy to be sad. Janelle Monáe, also too sexy to be sad. Kim Petras, Wario, completely opposite direction. Kim Petras is the balance of the universe, It's like for every Lucy Dacus, we need one Kim Petras to tell us like how much she likes to fuck. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly my list. My Apple Music top 5 songs were in this order. Number 1, Best Guess by Lucy Dacus, a depressing song. Okay. Number 2, The Subway by Chappell Roan, obviously depressing. 3, 4, and 5 are all from the Wicked Part 1 soundtrack. Dancing Through Life, No One Mourns the Wicked, and The Wizard and I were 3, 4, and 5 in that order. Okay. And the reason Dancing Through Life is number 3, and it might come as a surprise to you, is because I fucking love those interludes. Listen, Nessa. Nessa. And that shit came back around in the new movie. Oh my God. I was gagging for it. Okay. So I love the rap season. I love to see what you freaks are up to. What are you listening to? What do we have in common? Answer, nothing. Because you're not as depressed as me. You're not as depraved as me. You're not 6 feet under like me. Okay. But if we go to my Spotify Wrapped, that's when we really get into the juice, okay? My Spotify Wrap is my Wario of my Apple Music, okay? Because I use it mostly for events and like when I'm in public gatherings, when I'm like with the people on the aux cord, as they say, 6, 7, am I right? So my Spotify playlist goes like this in this order. 1, Sports Car, Tate McRae, absolutely incredible song. 2, Looking for the Hose by Sexy Red. Okay. 3, Abracadabra. 4, Nueva Yol. 5, How Bad Do You Want Me? Gaga. All bangers. Would listen again. Will listen again. Sends a different message, but absolutely amazing songs on both lists. Will listen again. Will make sure that all of them are represented in my physical being. I do feel like there are two sides of my mind and both of them have the same space. It's like there's theater here, there's the sad and depressed part here, and I'm looking for the hose over here. All right. It's just the complexity. It's the dichotomy of woman. You know what I'm saying? So I also got a like podcast wrapped. So for this podcast, I got to see all the stats, which was so fun. Shout out to everyone who listens to this. First of all, 25 of you had me as their number one podcast of the year. Oh my God, stop. Don't look at me. Stop, stop. Imagine that like cameras are flashing. Like, look over here, look over here. Stop, you guys, stop, stop. Seriously, seriously. You don't have to do that. So yes, 25 people had me as number one. 60 something people had me in their top five. Hold on, let me just look up to show you for real. Okay. 62 people had me in their top 5 shows and 81 people had me in their top 10 shows, which is really, really cool. And obviously those numbers are within one another, right? So like 81 people had me in their top 10 and of that 81, 62 I was in their top 5 and, you know, of that 25 I was their number 1, which is really cool. And the statistics they gave me were so fucking ridiculous. Like I hate percentages over 100 because at that point like just make it X times that amount, right? Like instead of saying my audience grew by 999%, you could just be like, it grew times 10. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this really makes me look like shit. I was accused by Raver Liz for having made this up and having just like made my own and posted it. And I was like, girl, if I was making this shit up, if I was juicing the stats, why wouldn't I make them better? If I was padding the stats, why would I say only 25 people had me as their number one podcast? Like in what world am I saying I have that few fans? If I'm making it up, it's going to be in the thousands or at least the hundreds, babe, okay? So, something interesting which I did love was my follower count is up 150%. I was gagging because I'm like, okay, yeah, it went from like 10 to 15 or whatever. It went from like 10 to 25. Okay, nice. Just kidding. I was a Rising Star, a marathon show, and a talked about show. And I was like, wow, people really must not be listening to podcasts this much because this is crazy. So what they told me was this year, my show's growth outpaced 98% of other shows. Okay, that makes sense, right? 1 times 2 is 2. So if you double, next is fans listen to you for longer than 87% of other shows, which is kind of cool, like you staying the whole time. And then last but not least, I received more comments than 94% of other shows. And shout out specifically to Virginia and I'm pretty sure Caroline, who are my commenters. So shout out to y'all. Keep commenting, like, review, rate, because I'm loving this and I'm living for it. Okay. So thank you to everyone who listens. And as a reward and as a prize for you, I finally watched a TV show so we could talk about it. Okay. Because I needed to see the horniness of those gay hockey players. I did get the HBO login. Shout out to Mia, Raver Mia, who gave me her HBO login so that I could be up with the people. All right. So I need to watch I Love LA. I do know this, but I did watch the first 2 episodes of Heated Rivalry and it was worth every minute. Every penny that Mia is paying was worth it. Okay. So the heated rivalry of it all. Last week I was saying how like I wasn't in the zeitgeist, like I wasn't in the marketing for the show, which I do have a bone to pick in general about this, but we'll get to that later. This show, just in these first 2 episodes, we're already like 4 years into this plot line. Every 2 minutes or so, they're like 4 months later, 6 weeks later. I'm like, you guys, are they even fucking during this period? Actually, I need someone to riddle me this. During those like the years that go by or when they like miss full seasons, they're just not talking. They're not talking at all. They're not fucking. Like years are going by. It is a little confusing to me. I mean, I really like it. I think they have like good chemistry. And then of course I had to look into like the 2 main characters who play Ilya and Shane. And they have not discussed their like personal sexuality and they're like, we don't think it's important. Like they have good chemistry. They were down to clown. And Ilya, the man who plays the Russian guy, first of all, I thought his Russian accent was good. People are kind of clowning it, but I was convinced. I think he does a good job. And I know y'all are going to be like, this is the worst Russian accent I've ever heard in my life. But like, as somebody who can't do accents, I'm like, this is amazing. Okay. So I did think he was really good. And his butt, oh my God, it was like comically caked up. Like, It looked like CGI. I couldn't even believe that thing really existed because that Russian guy, the one who plays Ilya, is like a former gymnast, and that's why he has this like sculpted body or whatever. And hockey players are like very buff in general, but Shane was not giving the same amount. I was like, if you're looking at that butt all day and night, I would be in the gym. You got 4 years to work out. You got 4 years to figure that out. Okay. So everyone's sort of crushing on Shane, and I'm sort of like wet blanket, stick in the mud energy. He is the antithesis. He is the enemy of small talk. They will have just had full on penetrative gay sex. And then afterwards, he's like, so do you even like Russia? Like, are you excited to go home to Russia? Like, bro, please, please. And all he says is like, fuck you. You're such an asshole. I'm like, are we 12? First of all, 4 years have gone by. You're probably 25 now. Get a new line. Oh my God. Okay. So I'm really liking it. Have not yet watched episode 3. Overall, we all need to watch. We need to support these gays. And maybe, maybe I'll find some interest in hockey at some point. I have been to a Bruins game one time and a Rangers game. Okay. So those are my credentials. Check me out. Moving on. Golden Globe nods are out as of today, this Monday that I'm recording this. And first of all, Cynthia Erivo made history as the first Black woman to earn 2 nominations in the lead actress category, comedy or musical. So congratulations to Cynthia. Deserved. And I'm pretty sure she's also up for Grammys as well. So she's on her way to EGOT status, and I'm supporting her all the way. Lesbian EGOT is exactly what I'm looking for. Should I shave my head? Not that I have, listen, I don't even think I have the head for it. I don't even want to know what's going on under here in the shape of my actual head, like my raw head. But I don't know. I'm sort of like, maybe it would help me to lock in other places of my life if I didn't have the security blanket of my hair. Think about that. When you've been working out for 6 days and you're like, maybe I'll shave my head. This is actually, oh my God, delusional. So delusional. Okay. So Golden Globes, I was trying to look through the list for like gay people or gay shit. I'm looking through this list. I was like, I know some of these words, but half of them I'm like, what is Jay Kelly? What is Hamnet? How is marketing just like skipping over me now? What the hell? Like, why people are no longer facing me with their marketing? And I know that I pay for YouTube now, so I don't watch ads. So now I just like don't know about things, apparently. I didn't even know that the Knives Out had a 3rd movie until my sister was like, oh, I'm going to see it on Thanksgiving. I said, what are you even talking about? I am fully missing things. Marketers, come back. I want to know. So I was looking through the nods for things that might be gay, and I found one, Hedda, the lesbian queer period piece with Tessa Thompson. That got a nomination for like lead actress. So congrats to Tessa Thompson, also queer, by the way. And Hedda, lesbian storyline period piece. Maybe I'll watch it, but I got other things on the list, so probably not. Okay, don't hold your breath. I already watched 2 episodes of one show. I think I'm good for a month. Okay. But I did decide I'm going to lock in on movies again because after seeing Wicked and Knives Out, I was like, this is the best experience. I forgot how much I love this. Sitting down, being comfortable, being cozy, relaxing, lounging, eating some candy, enjoying myself. That's what I'm going to be up to. So there are movies that interested me, like Marty Supreme, I think I'll go see. If I Had Legs, I Would Kick You seems too stressful. Begonia seems weird and kind of like scary. Not like literally, but maybe like too concept for me. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to think that hard. Frankenstein seems interesting, but not that interesting. And that's really it for me. Okay, that's it for me. We'll see what else can get me to the theater. But I am an ANC Stubbs member, so I really need to be making more of that. Okay, moving on. Other current event. New season of Drag Race coming out January 2nd. There is always this winter season, and it really helps to get out the house. Okay, so January 2nd, the cast list was released. I unfortunately do not know any of these people. I don't mean to sound ridiculous, but I do not know these people. They seem like a good cast. You know how they always do that like crazy shit for the cast photos? These people look nuts, obviously. Probably very talented. Will be watching. I've skipped the last couple seasons because they made it too confusing for me, but I'm locking in again. Okay, I'm locking in. Where are we watching? Come at me, gays. Okay. Let's get into rave reviews. So first rave review and only rave review, it's going to be, we got to shout out Lily Allen again. She did something gaggy, okay? Lily Allen did like a exclusive merch drop where she put her album on USB drives shaped like butt plugs. And I think That is cool. Okay. So that is merch and that is inspiring to me as somebody who was like, oh, I want to do like fun and creative merch, which don't even come for me. Don't even come for me. It's on my list. I have a big list, a lot of lists. Okay. But it's really good. I was like, yes, I can imagine the intern who was like getting the USBs and had to like upload them and was like, do I have a case here? Right? Like, is this violating some law to have to touch these butt plug USBs? And someone's going to put it in their butt. Someone's going to put that thing in their butt and they are going to have Lily Allen's MP3s on a USB in their butt, and they're going to end up in the hospital and that's going to be someone's story. And that's why we do it. Okay. That's why we do it. Also, speaking of, do I have a case here? First of all, call HR USB butt plug intern. Second of all, if you care, there is actually some really big drama in the HR community right now, which is my day job, as some of you may know, and now all of you know. My day job is HR. And hilariously, today, it finally came out that there's like a conclusion to a big lawsuit that was happening with the Society for Human Resources Management. So it's called SHRM. And they're like the go-to, they like make the rules and do like consulting on HR best practices all over many, many different industries, right? Okay. And they lost a discrimination lawsuit for pushing someone out and retaliating against them on the basis of race. And they have to pay this person $11.5 million. So if you care about HRT, that is your HRT. So shout out to the ex-employee who is getting $11.5 million and get fucked to the Society for Human Resources. Honestly, this is embarrassing for you. Take the L, go home, change your ways, make it better. I just can't believe the hypocrisy. Like in general, nothing surprises us anymore because the Overton window has shifted so much. And actually, this is going to be annoying. And I know I am in my political obsessiveness bag again. So I'm going to make it everyone's fucking problem. Grave review, the Overton fucking window shift. Okay. The Overton window is essentially, let me actually Google this definition. Okay. It's like everything that we find to be palatable as the public. Hold on, let's see what they define it as: the political theory describing the range of ideas that the public finds acceptable for any government action from unthinkable to popular at any given time. Okay. So like when you think about the way things have shifted over time, like, so if you think about polar sides of things, like the middle is like neutral and what's publicly acceptable. And then there's like polar sides of things. So like say, for example, one like liberal polar idea is like Medicare for all. Okay. But at one point it was probably like same-sex marriage. Okay. And then the window shifted and that actually fell into what was societally acceptable. And now there are still things on the fringes like Medicare for all. I don't think that's inside the Overton window yet, but other liberal ideas are within it. Okay. Getting the picture. And on the other side, if we're thinking of it like a scale with like, different polar sides, on the like very conservative side, it might be like closing the border, or like the insurrection is like the polar side of the other way. Okay. And the Overton window essentially is everything that is like societally acceptable. And it's so large now. It's grown through like the social media era and all of this time that's happened. And I feel like back in the day, I remember when like Obama wore that tan suit and there was like a week of coverage about it. And now people in masks are throwing people into vans and it's like in the third photo in a carousel on Instagram from CNBC because all other horrible atrocities are in there. Like the fact that we are consuming so much horrible news all the time, and me, like many other people, I experience like global and political anxieties. But we didn't always used to be this way. Like social media and like the rage machine has made it this way. So I don't know. I just feel like the way in which we have sort of normalized this craziness and these crazy behaviors, it's not really serving us. And I almost feel like there is a little bit of a shift. Like I actually don't want to live in a world that is led by the most corrupt people in the world and that's taking money from the poor and giving it to the rich. Like maybe I actually don't want that. So not to say I'm optimistic, but I do feel like maybe we might be starting to condense what is societally acceptable again. Like we saw the Epstein files were a big breaking point, and these like, killings off the coast of Venezuela seem to be like a breaking point for folks. I don't know. I don't like to be optimistic about things, but it's better than the alternative, I suppose. And I do think that there have been these like critical breaking points recently that have hit a nerve on society, and that's like it has gone too far. And that's made me a little bit more optimistic. So I know I'm turning this from talking about an HR lawsuit to the Overton window having expanded so much over time and now potentially condensing a little bit. But that's my path, okay? And we're all on this path. And honestly, I blame Ezra Klein because I am reading Abundance and it is an amazing book, but I am not on board for the sexification and the yesification that is happening to him. Ezra Klein has been this New York Times reporter for years and years and years and years and years. Okay, he's been in this game for a really, really long time. Not gay. Okay, not gay. Has a wife and kids. Okay, I thought he was gay. I think a lot of people are gay. I told a lot of people that Macklemore is gay, and I did tell people Ezra Klein was gay. So if I told you that, I'm telling you now, he's not gay. Okay, and I'm sorry. So I was mixing him up with Michael Barbaro. It's here nor there. Moving on. So ever since over these past couple of years that he's been doing this podcast, it's been on YouTube, he got glasses and he got a beard and he's been yesified. He even updated the headshot for his show to be his sexy new like little laughing headshot. Oh my God, I am not down for this. Stop trying to be a sexy hot reporter. Okay, Ezra, just give us the news. Oh my God, fine, fine. I know sex sells, but I am not sold on this. I just want to know what's going on with the legislation that has inflated housing prices, okay? And Abundance is a good book. And I am buying it for my dad for his birthday. And I'm going to make him read that shit and talk to me about it. Moving on. So, can I say something? And I'm taking this rage and I'm moving it into can I say something? But my can I say something is actually really positive. In a good note, I posted my first ever reel promoting this podcast this week. And I know that seems like, obviously you should have been doing that the whole time. Are you an idiot? Do you even want fans? Answer, yes. Two, I'm scared. Okay. I am lucky that people listen and I don't do a lot of promotion. So it's actually like amazing that I have 100+ followers and people who do listen to this. But I've definitely been letting the fear of striking out stop me from playing the game. Ugh, that moment when you let the fear of striking out stop you from playing the game, you hate to see it. But essentially, I finally got over myself. And I think we all get wrapped up in our own bullshit sometimes. And we are all the main character of our own lives. And if we're not, we should be, okay, first of all. But you're just on a side quest in other people's stories and nobody is fucking thinking about it. Like, if they're looking at my reel, you either like, you laugh at it or you don't, or you send it to somebody to make fun of me. Either way, we all move on, okay? And it is not my business what's happening. When I posted it and it got 2 shares, my first thought was like, oh God, people are bullying me in their DMs. Like some hater of mine follows me and saw this and sent it to their friends and was like, LMAO, this girl thinks she's funny. And that is probably true. And I have caught people doing this before, but who fucking cares? Like, you either saw it and you liked it or you didn't and you fucking moved on. Like, it is not going to change anybody's life and I need to get over it. And I think I'm finally over myself, which is amazing. Like, no one's just going to find me in the mall and give me a deal and give me, brand deals and give me a platform. Like, I have to try. Everyone has tried. Everyone good has tried, and they had ops too, and they probably had people sending them shit and being like, this girl is doing too much. But not to quote Addison Rae here, but I would rather be doing too much than not enough because you're clearly doing nothing. Okay? Okay. No one's just gonna find me in the mall like Gisele Bündchen. Or, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was her. Apparently Gisele Bündchen was so hot, she was just walking around the mall and someone was like, you should be a model. You should be a supermodel. And now look at that. Married and divorced Tom Brady, the highest paid model in the world. Okay? But that is not me. That is not my truth unless I shave my head. And maybe it will be. I don't know. Will it make me interesting and cool? Cool enough to be seen? I don't know. Time will tell. And last but not least is going to be I am sorry. And my I'm sorry goes out to my fucking Lyft driver from Saturday night. It was the birthday of 2 of our softball team members, Caroline and Chang. So happy birthday to you both. We clearly hit it hard. We were just at a random straight bar and restaurant in Long Island City, but that is no match for me turning it up to 11. They had pickle martinis, and then I had to go to the corner store, and then we were all got an Uber to go to Old Bay at the Bush, and then my girls at the Bush, my people, my bartenders gave me a free shot, and it was lights out for your girl. Okay. She thought she was taking the train home, and then I was just like lost in translation. I was in the tornado of my own mind. So I did, in my drunken stupor, figure out, first of all, my phone doesn't even have apps on it anymore because I have no storage left. And if you say one thing about iCloud storage, it's not my iCloud. It's a physical storage on the phone. And I don't know what to do about it either. Okay. And I refuse to seek help. So I just keep offloading apps and then re-downloading them. So essentially, I downloaded the Lyft app and got a Lyft and then accurately identified when my Lyft arrived. Amazing. So it's like a 30-minute ride, and I knew I was going to be sick. Okay. But your girl is not about to pay that $250 fee. So here's what we did. We took my shirt, which is like a pretty tight shirt because it was like a long sleeve, sort of like a cropped long sleeve. So I opened up the shirt and I started to barf when needed, not just like openly barf, like when needed, I would like spit up into my shirt, white long sleeve shirt. Okay. And I'm really doing my best to just be like sort of like spitting up, dribbling. And the driver at one point is like, "Are you okay?" And me, mouth full of bile and vomit, was like, "Mm-hmm." Mm-hmm. And I still got a 5-star rating. The way that he rated me 5 stars, probably because I didn't vomit in his car. But I get home, I still managed to like get in, lock the door behind me, like clean up a little bit, take my clothes off, throw it in the trash, whatever, like brush my teeth, get into bed, fully fine. Okay. Phone's on the charger, door's locked. Incredible skill that we have. Okay. And I know it's dangerous and it won't happen again. I don't want to hear about it. But I get up and I get this email and it's like, "You just got like your 100th 5-star rating." And I was like, that shit, that's my king right there. I hopped out of the Uber. First of all, I was holding back the last little bit. And so I hop out, immediately spit out all the shit that was in my mouth. And then I dump out my shirt full of vomit. And so that shirt, unfortunately, it was like a sort of a hue of pink. So that did have to go in the trash. I lost a shirt and a bra on Saturday. Very dangerous, very not good. I am so sorry to that man who had to hear those sounds of whatever was going on. But I'm not sorry for that 5-star rating, babe. It cannot bring me down. I am getting only high rated drivers. I am always buckling my seatbelt. I am ready. I'm giving them feedback. I am tipping. I am doing everything that I can. So I did give him extra money. I had to go back in and be like, "Sir, thank you, God. Okay. Ever since Lyft gave me my phone back, I am feeling like I got a new lease on life. Okay. And by the way, should have fucking left it there. Should have left the phone, left the whole device, and been like, just fucking keep it. Okay. Abdel Rahim could have had the device this whole time." So, last but not least, song of the week. It has to be Toni Braxton. It has to be "Wasn't Man Enough for Me." It's all I can hear. It is such an earworm. I know that it is from a million years ago, but people are doing this little cute dance to it. I think it was on TikTok. And ever since then, I cannot get it out of my head. And my dance teacher played it in dance on Saturday. So, "Wasn't Man Enough for Me." Toni Braxton is our song of the week. And I will be checking my Apple playlist again because if I know one thing about me, it's going to be like in that top 5 by the end of the year. And this is why we cannot have the Wrapped happen. And this is why I ask you, Zohra Mamdani, what is your plan to make Wrapped at the end of December? Okay, what are you going to do about that? Thank you for listening. I appreciate you so much. We have been having so much fun. I can't believe this season is already halfway over. So hard to believe. Take care of yourselves. I love you. I miss you so much already, but I'll see you next week. Okay. This has been Gay Rave. I am the Gabby L, and the L is for say it with me. Love you. Bye.
That's what she said. And you know what? What was that? Okay, James.